You're wondering why these companies do microtransactions? Because keep buying all of them.
All right, so maybe you've been living under a rock for a while, or maybe like me, you've been in the ER, just got home, and well, I've missed out on a couple of things in the past 2 weeks or so of Genshin Impact, and this is, well, I will say one thing, it's very reminiscent of the first anniversary reward drama. A lot of players' faces look like this, all right, when the first anniversary came around. And honestly, we're going to touch on a lot of things, and hopefully it'll be touched on in this as well. I'm not too sure about the unhinged content creators exposed here. You guys wanted me to check this out. But I'll say this much as far as my opinion goes on the current drama that I've been able to find out about with this 3 intertwined fate thing rewarded for 3 years. And there's going to be two sides of the aisle like there usually is, right? There's going to be one side where everyone's just too complainy, right? And you guys shouldn't complain, and the game's fantastic, and there's nothing wrong with the game. And if you have a problem with the game, then just stop playing it. Just stop playing the game, which honestly, people have done that. So I don't know how that can be your stance. You just want the game to decline until no one plays it anymore, I guess. Then there's the other side, very far other side, where everything's bad, everything needs to be improved, the game's garbage in every single way. And then there's that middle ground side, which is the opinion that I kind of have, where games in general can be improved on. You can take a okay game and make it a good game. You can take a good game and make it a great game. You can take a great game and make it a fantastic game, the best game ever in all facets. And we've seen a lot of that with Genshin and opinions on Genshin for a long time, right? We want quality of life updates. We want more stuff to do with our characters at end game level. And end game doesn't mean difficult. It just means something more to do than just the spiral abyss that resets. Okay, hopefully we'll get into it a little bit more there. I want to see what this is here, the unhinged content creators exposed. So let's just check this out. We'll probably be pausing it and see if there's anything cool to talk about. Oh no.
You've seen many Genshin Impact content creators make videos about the whole 3 extra wishes drama.
Oh, yep,
which
3 wishes.
3 million followers.
I did see this. I did see this.
But
I did see this. Now, this 3 million follower thing, there's a little more into this as well. That they lost a bunch of followers and then immediately gained a bunch of followers on these different accounts. And a lot of the followers that they gained were following just one account, and it was Genshin Impact, and it was like a brand new account, and there's tons of them, which is leading a lot of people to speculate that those aren't real accounts with real people behind them, and they were just trying to recoup and make it look like they didn't lose that many.
What they don't realize, the game is
this guy though.
To play game.
Oh
you
no!
Can play it from start to finish without wishing for any characters. So you can see the characters.
Is this going to be the just be happy?
I don't see the problem. When have you seen Fortnite give out V-Bucks? Everything has its own business model.
Bruh.
Yet everyone is so ungrateful. I can't believe it.
Is this guy trying? Is he trying to get the GOAT? Is that what we're doing? We're fully in it. We're joking, right? We're not going to take this stance. We're not really going to take this stance. This isn't your hard stance, right? This is some sarcasm, right?
Someone needs to go out there and tell them to be grateful. And that free
I've heard this.
Better than nothing.
I've heard this.
Decided to give us nothing, and we'd still have to move on with our day. But no one's doing it. No one's doing their job. Where are you, Slime? Collecting.
Where are you, Slime?
Now.
Bro,
I get excited for
why
vanilla
are you?
ice cream. If you love the game.
Oh my God, dude, the
vanilla ice cream. If you love the game so much, then you'd protect it. Little bear, where's your drama video when it's actually needed? Yeah,
bro.
Why haven't you changed everything yet? Oh right,
bro.
Because even you yourself know that you can't change Jack. And what the hell are you
oh
doing
my God.
sitting on a fence? Aren't you gonna play Genshin? Since you're
no.
too lazy to clean your room, at least do something productive with your life, helping.
You know, this makes me feel good. I gotta, you know, I have some stuff like right down here. I have some Pokemon cards that I'm going through. And like that back there is a little messed up. But this?
At least do something productive with your life, helping our multi-billion-dollar company.
Yes.
Even the fence sitters have made some sort of response.
Bow down to the...
You're all running away from your responsibilities. As a creator,
all right,
you have
listen.
to enforce positivity.
All right, I get it. This is some hyperbolic sarcasm, but this isn't without some truth behind it. I've seen tons. Like, this is first anniversary stuff. This is real. People said this across Facebook, Discord, Reddit threads, YouTube comment sections. We're like, you have to prop up the game. You can't ever say anything bad. This is mainly, from what I've seen, like the English side. I don't know why it's so popular. I don't know why, like, you can't criticize the game. I don't know why you can't criticize something that you enjoy, because you see a couple of things that are taking players away from the game and making them quit, making them disinterested, and you see that those things are causing it, and they're not like huge glaring flaws, or sometimes it's just like, we need a little bit more things to do, or it seems like you're coming off as a company a little too stingy. We'll use the word stingy is the word I've seen the most. You know, when you have Twitch drops for 15 Primogems for watching for 2 hours, it's like it'd be better if you just didn't do anything at all, because you seem like you're coming off a little oomph there. But I've heard all this stuff before. For real, though.
Your goal is to eat the shit that Hoyoverse gives you. It doesn't matter what it is.
Okay, we're really in it.
Better than nothing. And you have to spread that shit among all your followers. You can't just sit there and let this bald man take over the entire internet, take over the entire Chinaverse, and make people be ungrateful. This is unacceptable.
It's not.
Should be condemned.
It's not
and
ungrateful.
Anyone disagreeing should have their Genshin account banned. This is not a time for
that
jokes.
Is how. That's
Hoyoverse
Twitter.
is in serious trouble right now. They need our support. Otherwise, they may go bankrupt.
To help him, all he needs is your credit
hold on.
card number, the 3 digits on the back, and
oh my god,
expiration month and year.
So spend as many wishes as you can.
That top
even
1% still is.
Spending free-to-play wishes also helps them. And top.
So this is a thing too. When we were comparing when Honkai Star Rail came out, and it was making more money than Genshin. If you go ahead and look at the amount of downloads Genshin has had, like if you see a Genshin Impact ad, like a Google ad on YouTube or something, it always is like X amount of downloads, and it's like hundreds and hundreds of millions of downloads, right? And then you look at like Honkai Star Rail. I think Honkai Star Rail, like when I see the ad, it's like around 14 million now. It's like you're telling me, and I know it's not all the downloads across the entire world, and it's only Google Play, but it's like, bro, we have a fraction of the players. Star Rail has a fraction of the players, and they were making more money than Genshin, which says a lot in volumes, right? If you have like a 1/10 of the player base, but you're making just as much money, it really speaks volumes about how many people are actively playing Genshin Impact still, because they show the downloads number, but like not the actual active player base number. That's just something to think about when you're comparing the longevity of Genshin and how many people are still playing it. And I know Genshin's come back up with money now after like Fontaine came out, but you still have. It's just something to think about. It's just something to think about when you
Up on your wishes.
Yes, top
so
them
that
up.
Hoyoverse can stay afloat. And to the people
still,
comparing Honkai
the $1 billion
to Genshin Impact, you're an idiot. One is an open world, and the other is instance-based. Of course, they need to be more generous towards a game that can't keep your attention that much because of its limited space. Why are you all complaining about not getting a free
Bro, this guy's nailed them all.
You already got Aloy, you ungrateful sons of... Doc?
This Aloy. Now, I have heard this argument as well, too. Like, Genshin Impact doesn't have to be as forthgiving, right, with its rewards as Honkai Star Rail does. And they did this back in the day for the first anniversary. Genshin Impact, the original argument was like, oh, you only get 10 fates for our first anniversary because Genshin's a brand new game. And new gacha games are, you know, not as rewarding on their first anniversary. It's a new game. Don't compare it to anything else. Don't compare it to Honkai Third Impact. Don't compare it to anything at all. Just be happy that you get what you get and shut the fuck up and just take what's given to you. Which is a very awkward, it's a very weird, in my opinion, it's a very weird stance to take where like you're dying on a hill for a multi-billion-dollar game company. I don't know why that's a thing. And then now we have Honkai Star Rail, brand new game, has introduced quality of life infinitely faster than Genshin. Honkai Star Rail got all of that quality of life either on release or quicker than Genshin did. Has gotten more endgame type content for you to do with your characters. Genshin hasn't ever in 3 years gotten that. Star Rail added and updated the simulated universe. They've updated it multiple times already. They have Golden Gears now. They have Swarm. They have multiple versions of the Abyss a little bit there because they added on to that as well. They've added on a lot of stuff in the games. Now the game's like way younger. And I get it. Maybe there's some reasons for it with it being instant space, right? And not having a true open world, but still, like, come on, man. Come on, dude.
Ungrateful sons of...
Poor
Dr.
Aloy.
Ratio is worse than Aloy. Aloy is at least Sony's mascot. Dr.
Yeah,
Ratio
true.
is just some ripoff of a JoJo character.
No, Dr. Ratio's
So
cool.
what if they gave 3 extra wishes? You can get 3 5-stars with those wishes. Why are you so ungrateful?
You could get
just
3.
Get lucky, man.
Just
it's
do
better
it.
Than nothing. To quote
I hate
a
that.
furious Tectone commenter, Genshin is better than honk shit Starbucks.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
You let them know, buddy.
Oh.
That'll teach them a lesson they won't forget. Fight
He's
against
got 'em, bro.
Hundreds of idiots, ungrateful sacks.
Hold on. What is this? The end game of Genshin's going to play Star Rail. Dang. I mean, it's true. So Genshin made a ton of money. I remember when Genshin first came out, it was during that period of time where everyone was just really bored because everyone was at home all the time. And even Hoyoverse themselves said, we had no idea that this game would do this well. It blew our expectations away like tenfold, which is really something to think about. Like crazy. And they got all this extra money, and I was sitting there like, dude, they could recoup this and make this like the best game of all time. The best game of all time. Like, it already has the open world nailed down. The characters are amazing. The story's pretty awesome. The cutscenes are interesting. The dialogue's really well done. The voice acting's insane. We have Abyss for endgame right now. And, and this is the first couple months, and, it's kind of difficult, if you don't have access to Diluc and some of these fire characters. And they're adding constellations for characters to be able to heal and shield teammates in multiplayer and stuff. And the entire community is like, oh my gosh, the ability, the potential for this game's already really good. The potential for it is to be absolutely insane. And we're going on 3 years now, and they've almost updated basically nothing outside of just like, we've got the new regions and stuff, but they haven't like added new types of content. It's always like, all right, here's your couple mini games for your events, and here's like a longer event that is locked behind 48 hours of dialogue that you may not be interested in for this NPC that shows up one time. And you might be a parent, or you might, work 80 hours a week or something, and you might only have a half an hour to play a game every day, or an hour to play a game every day. But you know what? If you complain that you only have a half an hour to an hour to play games every day, if you complain that you have to sit through 35 minutes of unskippable dialogue before you can start playing the game, and then, well, at that point, like, your time's fucking up, that's on you. The game's not for you. You shouldn't play it. It's not that the game should allow you to skip the dialogue when you want and go back and watch it later when you want with like a book or a diary or something. No, we can't put that in the game. That's too difficult. We can't do that. You know how much space to take up on your phone? You know how much space to take up on your phone to, I don't know, just download those conversations from the server if you want to go watch them later? Oh, it would take up no extra space. Okay, crazy. Amazing. Like, that's the kind of thing that makes people quit. Honestly, I've gotten that so many times, that the game doesn't value your time. It forces you to log and do all these different daily gacha things like every other gacha game does. It has the same gacha model for summoning characters that like every other gacha game does for the most part. RNG, right? Pities. And then it's got like these 35-minute unskippable dialogues for not even the main storyline, but just for events. And we can talk more about that too if you go back and look at the data of player retention and players quitting during Sumeru, and how much longer the unskippable dialogues in Sumeru were, and how many more dialogues and cutscenes there were in Sumeru. You can see a direct correlation. Can't say that it's a causation, but you can see a direct correlation between the decrease of players playing the game and coming back to the game, and an increase in unskippable dialogue and longer quest chains like that. There's a definitive correlation there. And if you bring that up, you're immediately swathed with comments like this. The whole point of the game's just the whole point of the game's the story. If you don't want the story, you don't want to watch the story on demand. When the game wants you to watch it, you shouldn't play the game. Interesting is the wrong word. Make a more hospitable environment for your player, right? Final Fantasy 14, I'll come back to that example all of the time. Final Fantasy 14, especially Shadowbringers, has a fantastic storyline, an amazing one. Awesome. One of the best villains of all time, right? For Final Fantasy, or just period, is in Shadowbringers. You can skip every cutscene if you want. They don't hold you hostage with your time. You can skip it, go back, watch it later if you want. If you really want to sit down and play the game and actively, do whatever it is, do dungeons, get through the main storyline, and then watch it later with some popcorn or whatever, you can do that. It values your time because you can spend your time in any which way that you want. In Genshin Impact, it's not. And I understand one's an MMO and one's a gacha game, but if you're taking a look at the story and how the games handle their story with their players, one of those games really values the player's time and allows the player to use their time however they want and still progress in the main story or progress in events and not feel like they have time taken out of their day doing things they might not necessarily want to do at that moment. Whereas the other one, Genshin Impact, is just, hey, you have to watch this unskippable dialogue. You might not be that interested in it at all, or you might not be interested in it in this moment, or you might not have the time to do that in this moment. And you know what happens when you hit number 3? You might not have the time to do that in this moment. It means you literally can't play the game and you fall out of love with the game and your player base decreases over time, which is why this has been brought up so many times on this channel, through shorts, through whatever. And you see this opinion a lot. And it's a very valid one to have because it's one of those opinions that players will have who care about the life of the game and they want the game to grow and not stagnate. And they are shot down every single time with, if you don't like it, just don't play.
It's ungrateful sacks of the only
you ungrateful, yeah.
Standing up for Genshin is someone called Steam Bunk X.
Steam Bun. Oh, he's got techie, dude. He's got this man in a Nike hat, lying hypocrite. Oh my gosh, 3 million followers lost. It's over.
Grateful individual.
Is
someone
he?
that knows that these people's greed has no boundaries.
Does this guy?
Someone that will stand up in our name. Someone we should
Harambe?
all aspire to be.
I saw
someone
Harambe.
that knows it's better than nothing.
Oh,
Don't
no.
let these people put you down, man. You're doing a great job.
Oh, what's this say? Proved nothing. Oh no, just a company bootlicker. We dig right in $1 million company, multi-billion-dollar company with this one. Fire Clown 100. Is that a balloon? Oh my goodness. There's literally 0 factual claims in this video and not a single point made. Bro's cooking, dude. Yo, I hope that's not actually. I hope
Your
that's
video
not.
was well informed and well researched. These people are just barbarians. Just an echo chamber.
They hate the game. They just hate it.
Let the Matrix get
Oh
the
no,
best
dude.
of us. Now let's look at another irrational comment from another ungrateful comment.
Yo, that's
creator.
cursed.
The mother of ungratefulness, in fact.
Uh-oh.
The one that started it all.
All 3. All 3? Holy shit, they're blowing their whole load. All 3 intertwined fates. That's Hoyo versus a whole stock. Do you know how much money that costs Hoyoverse to send their players intertwined fates? 3 intertwined fates. $0.
Yeah, $0.
That's
Yeah,
a
it costs.
lie.
It's a digital currency. It costs nothing. And if you are new to how much money like gacha / microtransactions make on average, here.
Yeah, here's the biggest sadness, dude. I worked 2 years of overtime straight on StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty made less money than the horse, the first Sparkle Pony horse in World of Warcraft. A $15 microtransaction horse made more money than StarCraft 2. That's it. That's the whole meme, dude. You're wondering why these companies do microtransactions? Because dipshits keep buying all of them.
So yeah, $15 horse has made more money than an entire video game in its entire lifetime. One of the longest standing games. One microtransaction has made more money than an entire team of developers making one of the most acclaimed games of all time. Something to think about. Something to think about.
According to this Reddit post I found, every wish is worth $2, which makes
oh
three
no,
wishes worth
$6, baby.
So shut the hell up. You're trying to brainwash everyone with your majestic bald head.
It'd be better if they
According
gave
to your
everyone
logic, they might
a
as well
free
give me
pass.
every 5-star for free. I didn't come here to talk
That's
trash,
true.
though.
It
I came
seems like
here
there's
to
only
present a solution to all
two extremes.
loving Genshin gamers. We can turn this situation.
Oh, I heard
forward.
about this too. I heard about this too, right here. This is a pretty big one. Whatever. Mickey D's apparently lost on a bunch of followers too because there was a Genshin McDonald collab. Dude, that's cursed, by the way. they also lost a bunch of followers.
Here's what you need to do. If 3 million people unfollowed, then if 3 million people refollow Genshin Impact, creating a new account, we could possibly get Hoyoverse to give us 2 more wishes.
No, that's not how that works. If you go back and refollow, you're not going to get 2 more wishes. Also, here's the real talk about this. If this really is going to blow up about this Genshin reward drama, it's not really about the 3 fates, in my opinion. It's like a straw that broke the camel's back scenario. And we've talked about it a little bit, but it's just like the disrespect that people seem to feel like they are being given by Hoyoverse is really the main problem. And it's not just the disrespect of the 3 wishes. It's the disrespect of, hey, you guys send us these surveys twice a patch. You don't take any of the feedback and implement it. You take all that feedback and add it to another game, Honkai Star Rail. You still do the exact same thing with reward structures. You haven't changed the event cycle. It's always just some dialogue into like a cutscene or something, and then you do the event in like 5 minutes. It's not that hard. You do all this weird stuff. You update the TCG, but you don't give us ways to use our new characters. You don't take any of this feedback back and put it into Genshin. You take all the money from Genshin, all the feedback from Genshin, and you apply it to other games. You apply it to Honkai Star Rail. You apply it to Zenless Zone Zero, but you don't apply it to Genshin. You don't apply it to the thing making the money, which from a business perspective, I mean, I understand why they're doing what they're doing, because, hey, if we're making all of the money still, why do we put more money into our product to make it better? And it's a stance that I've always hated when it comes to gaming, because it's like, it seems to me like it's a high level stance to have, where some big suits like, hey, we're making $8.7 trillion. Keep around making $8.7 trillion. I don't care if we make like 8.6 and then we make like 8.2 and it goes down over time. But if we can keep putting in the same amount of money or less amount of money and keep making around that amount of money, we can develop other projects in other games that also can make $8.6 trillion. Because we'll make those ones better. And then we'll have multiple games making $8.6 trillion instead of like investing 10% of that money back into the game and making it make $10 trillion. They'd rather invest nothing into it and just have it make around the same amount of money, which is what we're seeing now, right? It's kind of what we're seeing now.
Doesn't that sound great? That's a chance to get 2 more 5 stars. Better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
No, I don't think I cooked. I cooked.
Oh, shit.
Only quality content here, folks. Subscribe, please.
So, yeah, this said a lot of things. This kind of reiterated on what we talked about before. And honestly, if you want to see the game get better, any game, not even just Genshin Impact, you're playing any game and you see that there's some things you don't really like, or if the game's really gone down the path of like you not liking it at all, you can do a couple of things, right? You can give your audible feedback, right? You can send your reports in when they give you surveys. We can see how awesome that's really doing for us. Not. You can make your voice a little more vocal on their official forums or on YouTube comments or things of that nature. You can do that. Another thing that you can do, and one of the best ways that you can do, is if you do see stuff like this or other content that is about the issue, you can make sure that you try to get it out there, or you give it you comment down there. You just affect the algorithm in a positive way. You leave comments, you like the video, you talk about it down there, and that will allow that to grow in the amazing algorithm of the internet now on stuff like YouTube. And then the last thing you can do is stop giving them money. Like, don't give them any more money. Don't buy any Jades in Honkai Star Rail. Don't buy any Primo Gems in Genshin Impact. Don't buy your $5 login every day thing. I forget what the little pass thing is. Just stop doing it, because if their stance as a company is there's no real end game, no real reason that you needed any of these characters, and we're not going to make it a more enjoyable experience for you to gain access to these characters, or a more enjoyable experience for you to use these characters in our game, where their stance is you just don't need anything, so we don't give anything to you, then your stance should also be, or could also be, all right, I won't give anything back to you either, and I'll just kind of play it at my own leisure, which just is kind of how it is. And if basically the speak with your wallet argument, that's the one that's going to work out the best. And the reason why, you know, Genshin's still making the money that it's making, as with every gacha game, they make their money not off the top 10% of spenders. Not off the top 1%. They make their money off of the top 0.1%. The actual true Leviathan whales out there. If you want to think about how much money one person can spend, battle pass buyer. Maybe you buy the battle pass every year, right? $10. Maybe you buy the super awesome battle pass and it's $20 in your area. You buy that every month. It's like, that's a fair amount of money for a gacha game, right? You're spending $20 a month. You're spending $240 a year. Okay, cool. How many $240 a year battle pass spenders, right? You buying the battle pass, you're buying the login Primogem thing. How many of those players do you have to add up to equate themselves to one person who R5s every single weapon, C6s every single character? You're talking about one person who will pull and C6 every new character, 4-star and 5-star, R5 every weapon. That one player is worth hundreds and hundreds of people buying the battle pass every year. They don't care if all of the people who buy the battle pass like quit the game. They don't care if half you quit the game for sure. Because they just need to get one more person. If they can get one more person that wants to C6 every character and R5 every weapon, then they can lose a ton of players as long as they get one new person who's part of the 0.1%. And I'm not just spitballing there, that's true. There's an entire presentation about how gacha games and microtransactions, and any game with microtransactions basically, have been using literal psychology, like people who have trained and studied this, like they have doctorates in this stuff, and applying it to how they can fuck you over to try to make you want to spend money. There's multiple different ways and avenues, from having you log in every day because you're more interested in the product, you're more invested in the product. If you're logging into the app, there's literal research on that. And if you want to see this, there's like a PowerPoint presentation slideshow. We might have to react to that on the channel too, if you don't believe me. But there's a ton of stuff that goes into how games are designed to keep you coming back, to keep you interested, to keep you wanting more, so you can spend more money and make them more money. If they can make you spend $5, great. Because if they can make everyone on average spend $5 extra, that's a ton of fucking money for them. So there's a lot of research that they've used. And I'm not just talking about Hoyoverse. Every microtransaction oriented game has this in there. You know, the most notorious ones, the Raid Shadow Legends pop up everywhere. Or the ×2 bonus on your first spending that refreshes every once in a while. Or having to log in to do your dailies every day. Or having to watch 35-minute unskippable dialogue cutscenes. So you can be involved and logged into the game, or they can report that back to their high-level CEOs and boards of like, this is on average how long our players spend on the game every single day. Well, it's going to be inflated because your ass has to watch hours of cutscenes to get through basically what amounts to nothing every single day or per patch, right? As long as they know that they can get those numbers and hit those numbers and inflate those numbers in that way, it's going to look good on them, and it's going to want you to play more in several facets. But with this being said, hey, that's how I feel. Genshin's got a lot of things it needs to fix up, but we're 3 years in, man. And here's my hot take on this. We're 3 years in, nothing's going to change. They're not going to go like, oh my God, we didn't know. We have things we can improve on. We didn't know that. We didn't know that. We're going to redesign everything. We're going to institute constellation pickers, right? Maybe 2 a year or 3 a year or whatever. You get an item that allows you to unlock a constellation for a 5-star rarity character of your choice. Why? I don't know. We're going to do something cool. No, we're not going to do anything cool. We're not going to change anything. I don't think they're going to change anything in Genshin Impact. I think what's going to happen here is just like everything before. Instead of us getting 3 fates, they're going to give us 10 fates. They're going to give us 20 fates. And it's going to get swept under the rug. And everyone's going to be like, see, they're just appeasing to the ungrateful people. Most people don't really care exactly about the rewards themselves. They care about the infrastructure and how the game has been treating itself and its players since the first anniversary, basically. Now that we have other Hoyoverse projects to compare Genshin Impact to, it looks really bad for Genshin Impact as far as quality of life updates, all this other stuff. We have the 4.4 artifact thing coming out. They're like, oh, here's some loadouts. They're not loadouts. You can't save them. It's just like a different way to filter your fucking artifacts. Like, no one really cares about that. So drop it down below, bless up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.